only the equivalent of sort of junior sort of tosspot went to see Crackerjack.
Differently interesting extra time communion for minicab drivers.
Take the money and sit back down again.
Breastfeeding mums.
Oh, you've not been giving it its breakfast again, have you?
And people disturbed by urban foxes engaged in the act of lovemaking behind their bins.
Anybody there?
The two Mikes. Overworked, overweight, overpaid, overnight. On Talk Sport.
I am a man of the people.
No,
I'm not a loud-mouthed, exhibitionist or anything
Johnny
like
come
that.
lately to the money stake.
Noir Blanco Fariari.
Oh, yeah.
If we'd all run the world like Chairman Mao wanted the world run, I mean, we'd still all be living in caves.
This is Talk Sport. I'm Mike Graham. He is Mike Parry. I'm delighted to say we are the two Mikes still, and it's time to say a very, very good morning. So very happy because Everton won. Mr. Mike Porky Parry. Very good morning to you.
We are rich.
What are you
we are rich.
What are you singing
are
for?
rich.
What are you singing that for?
Well, I wasn't singing that. The Everton fans were singing that tonight at Aston Villa.
Really?
And I have
That's
to
in
say,
very poor taste, isn't
well,
it? I mean, what about all this stuff about Manchester City and the petrodollars of Chelsea and all that?
I'm being a bit mischievous here, but I mean, the point is, I think it is literally a celebration of relief that after searches have been going on for years, Everton have secured an investor, a wealthy investor who may help us.
Money, though, is it?
May help us take the club forward.
It's 200 million quid, right?
What?
It's 200 million quid.
What are you on about?
Well, 200 million quid does not make you rich in football terms, I'm
afraid.
Well,
hang on, mate. That's only the start. The gentleman who's invested, has big funds.
Mr. Pashiri.
Moshiri. Yes, if you don't mind. Yeah, you get that right. Can we start by getting it right?
I was just going to see if you could remember what it was.
No, you idiot. And what I'm saying is, you have to say the future is a lot brighter now than it was last week.
I don't want to particularly talk about Everton.
Well, I'm only giving you the atmosphere of the games tonight. Now, what I'm going to pick you up on...
The atmosphere of the games? Well, hang on. So, I mean, we are rich is the sort of thing that you would chant as you drive around the country, visiting various Everton games anyway, isn't it?
No.
You with your multitude of properties, with your plans.
Come off
plans to buy. Last night you told us you're going to buy an Aston Martin.
Oh, come off it. For goodness sake.
You're going to go first class to Goodison because you don't want to mix with the riff-raff.
Oh, how dare
you be
say
shouting,
that?
we are rich in the first class carriage and chucking your empty bottles out the window?
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not like that
man
at
of
all.
the people.
I am a man of the people.
No,
I'm not a loud-mouthed, exhibitionist or anything like that.
Johnny come lately to the money stakes.
I can tell you absolutely certainly that the chant from the Everton fans tonight, we are rich, we are rich, we are rich, was just a sigh of relief that we've finally found an investor who can help take the club forward.
It sounds like gloating.
No.
It sounds like making a mischief out of what can only be described as the misery of Aston Villa fans, who by coincidence, are probably quite rich as well, but they can't do anything with the money.
Well, the problem is Aston Villa have been so badly managed, and I don't mean just on the pitch, I mean as a club, at board level. They've been so badly run and so badly managed over the last 18 months, I'm afraid it's no surprise to anybody in football they are where they are.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the people who run them have shrugged their shoulders and said, can't really be bothered now.
Yeah.
And they're going to go down. There's no doubt about it.
No question at all.
I need to pick you up on...
That's why I don't know why you're so excited about beating them as well.
Well, do you know what? Everton's away record now, all season, we've been beaten away from home once, and that was at Arsenal. That was just 2-1.
Right.
And for the rest of the time, we're unbeaten away from home.
Is that right?
It's astonishing. Chelsea 3-3 draw at...
Chelsea now above Everton, by the way.
Yes, I know that.
By 2 places.
I know that.
That's why you call him an idiot. I'm just pointing out a few facts to you.
Yes, I know, but you don't have to...
Chelsea are now in 8th position with 39 points.
Yes.
They finally got away from the 999 scenario, which was a bit of an emergency call.
Certainly was.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
999.
999?
They'd won 9, drawn 9,
and
lost 9.
Yes, I knew that.
They've now won 10.
Right, OK. Now, listen, what I want to say to you is...
Everton, by contrast, 9-11-7.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Now, you've got your facts wrong, and I'm going to put you right on it, OK? And I'm going to forgive you for making the mistake. Well, you see, for some unknown reason, you've got a downer on Leicester City, and you want to stick the boot in. You want to stick the boot in, and you say the karma will return.
I've been consistent in my belief that Claudio Ranieri would be a brilliant manager for Leicester City. I think you'll find that I've been doing that since the beginning of the season.
So why do you say karma's hitting them in the face?
Well, because I know you've got a short memory, but even you, I would have thought, would remember that picture that I described as being too early, too premature, of Jamie Vardy with his Bentley.
But I have something to tell you.
Go on.
That picture was published the day after another spectacular Leicester victory, which took them to the top of the, or kept them at the top of the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he was going into training on the Monday.
Yeah.
Now, he's driving a blue Bentley car. That was the first time he'd actually gone to training in that car.
Yeah.
But it was 7 months after he bought it. So it wasn't his new Bentley car.
Well, of course it was his new Bentley car.
You've given
How
the
is
impression.
it not his new Bentley car?
You've given the impression.
Sorry, excuse me. How is it not his new Bentley car?
Because he'd owned it for 7 months.
Oh, because it's 7 months old?
Yeah.
The fact that he hadn't shown it to anyone before.
Well,
means nothing to you.
No, he had been to training in it before, but nobody had pictured him going to training in that car.
Right.
But it wasn't like he was saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm a big guy, I've got a new blue Bentley."
Well, that's what it looked like.
No, it didn't. It might have looked like that.
That's what it looked like.
The problem is, you took it at face value.
No, perception is everything.
No, you took it at face value.
Perception is everything. And so if you pose on your Bentley, sprawled across it, like, look at me, I've got a Bentley.
He wasn't sprawled across it.
Yes,
he was sitting in the passenger seat, in the driver's seat.
No, he was sprawled across
The picture I saw, he was driving in through the gates of the training ground in a car that is his car.
Yeah.
And he'd had it for 7 months.
Well, you would be in great awe of somebody who had a Bentley anyway, because you've already told us how much you are jealous of people who drive nice cars.
No, I'm not jealous of anybody.
Yeah,
but
you are.
people who drive Bentleys are good people.
Are they?
They are good people.
How can you make such a ridiculous statement?
No, they are good people, I'm telling you.
It's a ridiculous statement.
What I want to say to you is this. You're supposed to have been an experienced Fleet Street operator for 25 years.
That's true.
And yet, you look at a picture and you put an interpretation upon it.
That's true.
You should not put interpretation on it. You should find out the facts.
Really?
Remember
and where
what
did you
Lord
get these facts
Beaverbrook
from?
said.
And where did you get these facts from?
Comment
because
is
one
free.
of the things that you're known for over your period of 25 years is making stuff up.
Comment.
So tell me where you got these facts from.
Comment is free.
Tell me.
Facts are sacred.
Tell me where you got these facts from.
I never got sued in 25 years in Fleet Street.
What about Kate Adie?
I was told to write a piece which Kate Adie objected to.
And did she sue you?
She sued me in the High Court.
So you just said you were never sued.
And she waltzed out of the High Court in a brand new £300 dress and posed in front of a bunch of cameramen.
£300 dress?
Yeah.
Well, you say that like it's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, it was in those days. That was about 20 years ago.
Right.
And
what about Rudolf Nuriev's final words?
Rudolf Nuriev's final words?
Yeah.
Well, they were to me from his deathbed.
Yes, right.
Yeah?
Yeah. I bet there's no corroboration for that.
Well, nobody else was there. I was the only guy smart enough
what a coincidence.
to get into, the villa where he died in St.
What about Peter Sellers?
Peter Sellers?
Yeah.
He was already dead when I interviewed him.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately.
So
I didn't know that at the time.
There's no corroboration of that one either.
Well, I didn't know that he was dead until a bit later.
No, but, that was how you were caught out, was it not?
No,
because,
no.
You thought you'd got secured a fantastic last-minute interview with a guy who had sadly passed away.
No, not at all. It's an interpretation of events which you're getting all wrong again. Now, what you have to say to yourself is that Spurs, tomorrow night... could race to the top of the Premier League for the first time ever if they get past West Ham. But will they get past West Ham?
Ever? You mean the first time ever this season?
No, first time ever.
Well, you have never been top of the league?
I don't think they have. I don't think Spurs have ever been top of the Premier League.
Oh, the Premier League? Yeah. Well, they've won the league, though, haven't they?
Well, they won the league in 61, 55 years ago, as Ray Houghton pointed out in the last show.
Yeah.
And since... do you know the last time they got close to it?
Would that be when they went in the Champions League?
No, it was the last time they got
close to going top.
The last time they got close to winning a league title, which was called the Division 1 title in those days, was in 1985 when they were top of the league, when Everton visited White Hart Lane in a night game, and Everton beat them 2-1. Andy Gray and Trevor Stevens scored the Everton goals.
Right.
And Graham Roberts scored a rocket for Spurs in the last few minutes. And after that, Neville Southall made the most dramatic save anybody's ever seen on a football pitch in this country to deny Spurs an equaliser. Right. Everton went on to win the league and Spurs finished fourth.
Why are we still talking about Everton?
Well, because...
I've told you I don't want to keep talking about Everton.
Because Spurs are playing tomorrow night, and I've just told you the last time they got close to winning a league title since 61.
Yeah.
So if you keep up, you'll understand exactly why we're talking about individual subjects.
I'm going to check whether you've got this one right about whether Spurs have ever been top of the Premier League.
They've never been top of the Premier League.
Well, I think you might find yourself wrong about that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tell me the date when they were then.
Well, I'm going to find out and I'm going to tell you.
You're going to find out.
Here's another one for you from Richard. He says, You are not rich, you buffoon. 200 million buys you 3 players nowadays and your team needs 10 players. You are years behind Manchester City.
I haven't said we are rich. What I said was...
You started the show by singing We Are Rich.
Yes, that's what the Everton fans were singing at Villa Park tonight. The only point I was making...
the time, by the way.
Is that there's a new element of confidence, of expectation, of joy within the Everton fans.
200 million quid. If you think 200 million makes you a rich club, then I think you're sadly mistaken and misguided.
No, I think you're mad. The 200 million's not even going to the club. The 200 million is going to the people who owned the club before the new owner.
So, in fact, you haven't got any more money at all.
No, we've got a billionaire backer.
Great.
And that says a lot. That's
marvellous. So what did he do for Arsenal exactly?
Sorry?
What did he do for Arsenal?
He wasn't in a position to do anything from Arsenal. He didn't have ownership of Arsenal.
He had 15%.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure he even had that, actually, because he had a half share
already, isn't it?
of red and white. No, nothing's falling apart.
It's all started to fall apart already.
Nothing is falling apart.
It is.
It's not. Believe me, the bricks are in place to
Says
build...
the man who can't tell a lie.
To rebuild the Everton Empire.
Yes, indeed.
We were, of course, known once as the Merseyside Millionaires, backed by the pools company Littlewoods under John Moores.
Look at the time. Matt says, I think Mike Parry needs to change his nickname from Mike Porky Parry to Mike Moneybags Parry.
Oh,
no. Man of the rich people.
No, man of the people.
Coming up next.
But I do like Bentley drivers.
Yeah, you think they're all great because they're all rich. This is Talk Sport.
Hawksby and Jacobs.
Oi, Hawksby, come here. Yeah. All right, Mum, no need for that.
This afternoon from 1.
You don't want to forget anybody, they'll feel put out.
Talk Sport.
You can post them on our Facebook page. We've got loads and loads actually tonight, way more than we need. But never mind. You can still try and get your situation sorted out. Now I've got some news for you.
Maybe once a week we should have a special Ask Porky programme. Outside of this one, because so many people need my advice.
Yeah, well, maybe you could go and do it on one of those other radio stations you work on.
What? It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's what you're always off doing, isn't it? You're always off working somewhere.
I don't know.
Have you done any work for anybody else this week?
Why are you sticking the boot into everybody tonight? What's
I'm not
wrong
sticking
with
the boot in at all.
Anyway, you're going to tell me something.
Yeah, I was going to give you some facts,
right?
Which I know you're not used to, but according to my research that I have here in front of me, in the 2014-15 season, Spurs occupied a top spot in the Premier League for 6 days.
6 days, there you go.
You said they never had.
I said they had never led it for a week. 6 days is not a week. I did. Yeah,
but you didn't say anything about a week.
I did.
You just said they'd never been top of the Premier League.
I said they've never spent a week at the top of the Premier League.
Do you want me to go find the original statement?
You don't need to. What's happened to your nose, by the way?
Oh, I had a little accident.
What are you doing? Your blood literally dripping onto the desk at the start of the show. What's going on?
No, I had an accident with my nose earlier.
Right, somebody punched you in it?
No.
Because you're objectionable and ugly?
Nobody punched me.
Did you jump the queue in the local kebab shop?
No, that's not what
you normally do.
No, I was taking my daughter out.
You get so starving hungry?
I was taking my daughter out for dinner, actually, earlier on.
Okay.
And
where'd you
go? We went to a place called The Shad. An Indian restaurant just down on Tooley Street, which is very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Funnily enough, quite a clever place. They used to call it The Shard. As the Shard was being built, the people who owned the Shard suddenly noticed that this place was called The Shard.
Okay.
And they went, what do you mean, okay?
Yes, I'm listening.
I can see you're already preparing to move on.
No, I'm not. I'm listening.
And so they went down to these guys and said, you can't call it the Shard anymore because that's the Shard there. That great big triangular building that's rising up into
but the Shard restaurant had the name first.
Yes.
So why did they have it taken off them?
Well, they had to be paid to have it taken away.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's not bad.
So they were quite smart. Anyway.
Somebody paid me to change my name. I'd do it.
Yeah, I know. What would you change it to? Anything?
Didn't matter.
I mean, money. You would do anything for money,
basically.
Tony the Tiger. You would do anything for money, wouldn't you?
No, actually, sorry. Lenny the Lion, I meant, because somebody used to call me Lenny the Lion.
What, joking?
No, I was known as Lenny the Lion.
Why did they call you Lenny the Lion?
Well, because I had a thick swathe of sort of ginger beard at the time, you know what I mean? It's kind of different colour now.
Lenny the Lion?
What?
Who was Lenny the Lion?
Lenny the Lion was that puppet that, some puppeteer guy, some ventriloquist used to have Lenny the Lion, didn't he? And I was known as Lenny the Lion,
Sure it wasn't Lenny the Liar?
No, Lenny the Lion. Listen, getting back to your restaurant, the reason you said I'm moving on and all that, I came across some information today.
Well, I haven't finished telling you a story about my nose.
Oh, okay.
That's what you asked me about.
Yeah, I did, but then you went on about going out for dinner.
That was about 2 minutes ago.
Right, go on then.
Well, the reason that I've got a cut nose is because I went out for dinner because I was in a bit of a rush.
Oh, I see.
And as I just was about to leave...
You bladderated,
I had a quick look in the mirror. Of course not,
Had a couple of cocktails at home before you went out, did you?
No,
They made your hand shaky when you were shaving.
Why do you do this projection?
Eh?
Why do you do this? I don't drink at home.
Yeah.
I mean, not during the week, anyway. I drink at home at the weekends, but not during the week.
Yeah.
No, I was asleep,
Your weekend stretches from Thursday to Tuesday.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I will describe my day. And then you can describe yours.
Anyway,
we'll let the audience decide.
About your nose.
Oh, you don't want to hear about that now?
I do want to hear about your nose.
So anyway, I slept at about 1 o'clock, right? Having had a bit of breakfast.
So you're going to have a stroke if you keep sleeping that long. No, you are.
I slept for about 5 hours, 5.5 hours.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
Right. I then had to take my computer to the computer repair shop.
Why?
There's something wrong
Broken?
with it. There's something wrong with it.
What did you do with it?
I haven't done anything to it.
And you were
bladderated. No, is that your only question?
Yeah, go on.
Is that the only question you've got? No, there's something wrong with the Word program. For some reason, it won't fire up the Word program. So took it into this place, came back home again, and by which time it was about 4, I would say. And I was meeting my daughter at 6.
Right.
So, I did a bit of reading, watched a bit of Sky, did a bit of this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I was...
What did you read?
And what did I read?
Yeah.
I read that new paper, The New Day.
Oh, The New Day.
Yeah. And then 5 minutes later, I had to find something else to read.
Looks to me like a publication from the Social Services Department of the government.
No, it's what it looks like. It looks like one of those free papers you get in hospital.
It does.
When you walk into the
it looks like it's paid for, doesn't it?
The waiting room of a hospital or something like that. And it's on that kind of paper that they seem to produce that stuff on. Anyway, so just before I went out, I had a quick look in the mirror to make sure I looked as dapper as I could be.
Right.
Because, obviously...
Dapper.
Appearances are important.
Good God.
And I noticed there was a couple of rogue hairs just underneath my nose.
Oh, well, it can be dodgy.
That I'd missed when I was having to shave.
I tell you what, I bet I know what happened next. You tried to get them off without any cream or anything.
I did.
It's a killer.
And also, I've got these terribly bad razors that somebody bought me, which are not very good. And, those white and yellow ones, it's got like the yellow, disposable ones.
Don't have a distinctive blade.
They don't, no. It's the ones, So I went to and it was right up, underneath my nostril, and I went to hack away at it, and somehow I managed to catch the side of my nostril.
Dear me, how incompetent!
And it wouldn't stop bleeding.
Yeah.
So I had to go on a tube with a sort of tissue against my nose, like some kind of cocaine fiend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you know what that means, Mike, don't you? I don't wish to worry you,
what?
But if you cut yourself and it won't stop bleeding, it means that you've got cirrhosis of the liver.
No, it doesn't mean that.
No, it does.
Well, I mean, it stopped bleeding eventually.
Well, yeah, but it took a long time, didn't it?
No, it took
Your
10
liver's
minutes.
clearly very badly damaged.
It took
from
10 minutes.
Excessive bladderation.
No, my liver's fine.
Over a
Do you
number
know
of
that
years.
your liver can reconstitute itself in 4 days if you don't have a drink?
Well,
when was the last time that you didn't have a drink for 4
hang on.
days?
It depends for how long you've been drinking for. I mean, for 4 days for a normal person.
Well, no, every so often, if you do it for 4 days, it clears everything out.
Well, I'm afraid...
I was told that by a liver specialist.
Yeah, well, I don't hold to that, I'm sorry, because there are some people whose livers are so badly damaged that they're never repaired.
It wouldn't work for you.
By the
So why
by.
don't you tell us about your day, then?
Well, I wanted to ask you this about the restaurant, right? Because I came across this from one of my journals on etiquette and behaviour.
Etiquette.
Do you know that at a decent restaurant now? Because when you ring up and book the table, if it's more than a day or two away, they will ask you now for a very big deposit because so many people now don't turn up. £150 is the average deposit being asked for.
I've never been asked for a deposit.
And at a particularly good restaurant, a demand of a £500 non-refundable deposit.
Well, they wouldn't get any of my business.
Is not unusual anymore.
They won't get any of my business.
Right? How about that?
Most of my restaurant booking scenarios are done online.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't bother ringing people up.
Yeah. Well, I always ring people.
I'll tell you what I do occasionally get is
I like the personal touch.
Yeah, I know, but also you don't know how to use the internet. But the other reason that I sometimes speak to people on the phone is if they ring you.
Yes.
Sometimes they ring you, say, a couple of hours before to say, "Are you still coming to make your reservation?"
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. But if somebody asks me for a deposit, I'd tell them to go take a running jump, go somewhere else.
There's an example here of somebody who tried to book a restaurant a month in advance for a retirement party. They were asked for a £1,000 deposit plus 12.5% service charge.
Yeah, but that would
upfront.
obviously been for a lot of people, though, if it's a retirement party.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, no, it wasn't.
I mean,
that
if you're
many.
booking a table for 10 or something, that's different, isn't
No,
it?
this was for 12.
Well, 12
Oh,
then.
14, sorry, 14 people.
Well, if you're booking a table for 14 people,
Yeah.
then that's different.
But you just said that it's bad behaviour and all that. Now you're saying it's not.
No, I'm saying if
you
it's
don't
a
know your
group-
own mind, really,
no,
do you?
if it's a group
sure
of
that
people-
liver of yours isn't knackered.
If it's no, it's more projection coming from you. If it's a group of people, which is in excess of, say, I would say 10, then I think it's quite normal to ask for a deposit because you're asking for them to corner off a whole section of the restaurant.
Yes, that's what you think, eh?
No, that is what I think.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So what did you do today?
What did I do?
Yeah. So talk us through, I've talked you through my day. I told you how long I slept for.
Yeah.
I told you my mission to get my computer fixed.
Yes.
I told you about my reading period.
Yes.
I told you about my dinner.
Yeah,
So
okay.
what have you been doing?
I've been very busy.
Yeah, go on. Tell us what.
Well, I've been
Let's
sorting out...
Let's do the hour by hour.
Well,
Let's see
no.
how much you've had to drink over the course of the day.
I've had nothing to drink.
Nothing.
I have nothing.
You haven't been to a pub today?
I have not been to a pub today.
Really?
Most days I do not go to a pub,
Really?
okay? I have not imbibed any alcohol.
Is that right?
I made some,
So you got home at
later
what time?
What time did I get home today? I got home about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
What takes you an hour to get home, does it?
No, but I didn't leave here till about 4:20. Because if
Didn't
you
you?
remember, we had a conflab after the show this morning.
What did we have?
Right? A conflab.
A conflab?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's a conversation
Right.
and a...
Okay, so you got home at 5
flab
o'clock.
one.
What did you do
Yeah.
then?
What did I do then? I then started pouring through the
I thought you
Times
were pouring
newspaper.
A glass of wine.
No. I don't drink tea or coffee at that time in the morning.
Not about wine.
No, not wine. No, of course not. Don't be silly. That would make me an alcoholic, which I'm not.
That certainly would be.
And then I repaired to bed for 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, I got up at 7:30.
Uh-huh.
And then got on with the day. Sorting out things.
So what did you do then?
Well, I'm sorting out things.
Oh, hang on. From 7:30
Yes.
until midnight?
Yes, mostly, yeah.
So what have you done from 7:30? Do you know how many hours that is?
It's quite a lot of hours, but I may have a lot to do.
16 and a half hours.
I mean, we've got 3 live shows coming up.
16 and a half hours.
Okay, we've got 3 live shows coming
16 and a half hours is a double.
We've got a new video to make.
It's double the time of a working day.
We've got all sorts of arrangements to put in place for downloaded videos and all that kind of stuff, right? I had to deal with the response to our diving video from last night.
Uh-huh.
Which, incidentally, of course...
8,000 people have looked at that on Facebook.
And mine proved to be much more popular than yours. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
It did, actually, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I think
Thank
you got...
you.
In fact, I can give you the exact number.
Yeah, let's have the exact numbers, please.
All right, I shall give you the exact numbers because... let's see. It was also retweeted by TalkSport, so it got quite a boost, actually.
OK.
Here we are. Which was better? 53 to 47. Is the final 53% to 47%. So if in the event that winners and losers are a tie, then you will get that extra 1%.
Exactly, but I certainly won that vote by a massive margin.
A massive margin, 53 to 47.
Yes.
Would you like to know what the score is in winners and losers?
OK.
It's 53 to 47.
Oh, in your favour?
A massive margin.
In your favour?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you see, you gerrymandered that.
No, I didn't.
Deliberately. So we won 1 vote each last night, then. That's fair to say.
No, it's now 5-4 to me in winners and losers. Yeah. And the Lou Van Gaal...
It's 5-4.
No, it was 4-all.
I won the other poll last night. No, that's 5-5.
No, that was 1%. If it was to be a tie, that was what we agreed last night.
By the way,
you've forgotten that, haven't you?
Ahead of Porky Vision tomorrow night, which is my TV review, of course. I watched The Midnight Man, or whatever it's called. You know that great...
The Midnight Man?
Yeah, the John le Carrier thing.
John le Carrier?
Yeah, what's it called?
John le Carrier bag.
What's it called?
Do you mean The Night Manager?
Night Manager. I watched it. Yeah,
The Midnight Man.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. The only problem was, for some unknown reason,
see the time.
I only got 40 minutes of episode 2, and then it went boof. It just went off. I don't know why. yeah, but it's great stuff.
Maybe it started sending itself back up the pipe.
There's a lot of Rogerisation. There's a lot of beating people up, drug running, international gangsterism.
Well, this is for tomorrow's Porky Vision.
Shooting children, all sorts of things. It's shocking.
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we've got lots more to do. We've got Mark Donaldson coming up. We'll bring you up to date with Super Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
This is TalkSport.
Bienvenue au weekend sports breakfast avec Michelle Quinn and Georgie Bingham.
Hey!
Oh, really, Mickey?
Every Saturday and Sunday morning from 7 on TalkSport with Benno Vans. It's the breakfast show that cooks up a souffle of sport and a pan au chocolat of pre-match build-up.
There's no need to milk it, Mickey.
The hors d'oeuvre to another big weekend feast of football. The weekend sports breakfast on TalkSport with Benno Vans. To celebrate 18 years as Europe's #1 van manufacturer, right now it's Van Month. Ooh la la.
I know. The state pension is changing.
I know. How much you get will still depend on your national insurance record. And don't forget you may still have a private pension to consider too.
I know. I'll be able to see how much I'm likely to receive and understand what I can do to improve my state pension.
I know. If you reach state pension age on or after the 6th of April 2016, you'll be part of the new scheme.
Make sure you know the facts about the new state pension. Visit gov.uk/yourstatepension for more information.
Park for free at Westfield Stratford City with Asper's Casino. Become an Aspire member, and whenever you visit Asper's, you park for free. Asper's is London's only super casino. Open 24/7 with free membership and free parking until the end of March. You're onto a winner. Terms apply. Details at asperstratford.co.uk. Over 18s, play responsibly, gambleaware.co.uk.
Would that it was so simple. Would that it was. Just keep still.
From the Coen brothers, Hail Caesar is hilarious.
Millions of people look to us for entertainment, and we're going to give it to them.
Featuring an all-star cast: Josh Brolin.
We don't want it in the gossip columns.
George Clooney.
But seriously.
Ralph Fiennes.
Action.
Jonah Hill. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And Channing Tatum. It's glorious. Dazzling. In the most epic comedy of the year.
This is a real drama.
Hail Caesar. In cinemas Friday.
Get set for a tick-attack takeoff when we play Back of the Jet on TalkSport with Beko, official sponsors of FC Barcelona. Listen to Hawksby and Jacobs all this week from 1. Prove you're eager about La Liga by answering TalkSport's teasers, and you and 3 friends could be in the Back of the Jet to see FC Barcelona versus Valencia with VIP tickets. Enter at talksport.com/win. Play Back of the Jet on TalkSport with Beko. Beko's stylish new built-in range comes with a 2-year warranty. Everything you love about Beko built in.
On digital radio and 1089 and 1053.
Well, I'll tell you, Phil Lynott was very Irish.
Yes.
I mean, although he's born in West Bromwich Albion,
Very Irish.
very near to the school, his mother was Irish.
West Bromwich Albion?
But he was
West Bromwich?
Yeah, he's born near to the ground in
But
Sandwell.
he wasn't born in West Bromwich Albion, was he?
Well, I mean, he was born in West Bromwich Albion territory, if you'd let me finish.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But what happened was, when they formed the group, Tin Lizzy was, in fact, a character in The Dandy. Remember The Dandy and the Beano?
I do remember The Dandy,
Right, well, Tin Lizzy was... And
I don't remember Tin Lizzy, though.
Well, I don't, actually, but I think it was a robot, wasn't he? Do you remember? He was a...
No, I just said I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think I do. I think he was a robot, you know, and with a buzzing thing on
Why are
his
you
head
moving
and all
your
that.
arms around as if you've got your hands on the levers of power?
Because that's yeah, levers of power. That's right. Yeah, because that's how robots walk. You know, where they wave their arms around.
Okay.
And he said, that's brilliant, we'll call ourselves Thin Lizzy. He said, because the way we pronounce it in
Tin
Ireland
Lizzy,
is
yeah.
Tin Lizzy.
Yeah, right.
You know, so we'll call ourselves Tin Lizzy.
Right.
Anyway, he was a good guy, old Lynott, and that song that we just played, Whiskey in the Jar, that was, of course, an old Irish ballad, which he picked up, and he didn't write it or anything, but then he put it in, made it a pop song.
Tremendous song, though.
Well, the words are tremendous, aren't they? It's about the squire of the...
it's like a highwayman kind of
county.
scenario, isn't
Yeah, it is, yeah. I first of all, I took my gun, then I took my rapier or something, wasn't it? You know, when he was robbing them, and he took the money home to his wife and all
Something
that kind
like
of
that,
stuff, yeah. But anyway, point of my story
What is the point of your
the story is... By the age of 35, he was playing in Butlins holiday camps at rock revival festivals. And the reason...
Oh, what you mean on the other side of the career, as it were?
On the downside of his career. And the reason why it all went wrong for him was, sadly, because he became a drug addict during the course of his success.
Yeah.
But he injected himself with something, I suppose it was heroin, is it, or something like that?
Probably, yeah.
With a dirty needle. And that dirty needle gave him hepatitis, which seriously weakened his immune system, amplifying the severity of his drug dependence, which meant he had to keep taking more and more drugs, and eventually he overdosed and killed himself.
Yeah, right.
And all
he
this...
was quite young, wasn't he, when he died?
36.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's terribly young. You know, it's shocking for a man as talented as Phil Lynott. And all this comes out of a book I was sent called Cowboy Song, the authorised biography of Phil Lynott.
Oh, right, who's written that?
A guy called Graham Thompson.
Don't know.
I'm not sure.
I know it, Graham Thompson. He used to work for me. I don't think it's the same one, though.
Graeme Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Is he Scottish?
I don't know, to be honest.
A guy worked for me in Scotland called Graham Thompson who spelt his name just like that.
And the Thompson's got no P in it. Thomson. But anyway, there you go. I mean, the only other great song I remember was The Boys Are Back in Town.
Boys Are Back in Town, yeah, that was good. Well, they did a fantastic live set. I think I saw them. They were either the support band to Bachman Turner Overdrive, or it was the other way round. I can't remember.
I think the Bachman Turner Overdrive were subservient to them, weren't they?
No, they weren't. No, because it was earlier on in their career. And it was one of those things where the tour had been booked before Thin Lizzy got famous.
Sure.
And then as they got more famous, they should have been top of the bill.
Oh, I see.
But it stayed the way it was.
Well, do you know the Beatles had a bit of that in '62?
Yeah.
They were actually backing Helen Shapiro at one stage, and they were top of the charts because the tour had already been booked and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when I was at university, we booked the Police to play for 50 quid.
Really?
Because nobody had ever heard of them. And they were supporting a band, which was a snuff rock band. Called Albertos y los Trios Paranoias.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, old Sting, Gordon Sumter, his name is.
Gordon Sumter.
What's his name?
Sumner,
that's right, yes. Up on the
but
stage.
by the time they came to do the show, they were number one.
Yeah, right,
You know,
they had to fulfil the obligation.
But they still had to do it.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other interesting thing, of course, about Phil Lynott, you may already know this, but I did know it, but I was reminded by a picture in the book.
That's good.
Is that he married a lady called Caroline, whose father was Leslie Crowther.
That's right,
And Leslie Crowther was, in fact, one of Britain's top entertainers at the time. Crackerjack and all that kind of stuff.
I went to see Crackerjack once, you know.
No, what, live?
Yeah, live, yeah.
God, what a sad kid you must have been.
Why? That was a great show. Everybody loved that show.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
It was being filmed in St John's Wood.
Only the equivalent of sort of junior sort of tosspot went to see Crackerjack.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not even sure you can call me that.
What?
I'm not even sure you can call me that. But anyway, the
I didn't say you were. I said the equivalent of.
Oh, right, okay. I also went to see Basil Brush once.
Basil Brush.
What's wrong with that?
That's ridiculous, Basil Brush.
Well, when you grow up in London, right?
Only right, you know... idiots used to go. Junior idiots used to go and see it.
No, because the point about, when you live in London, if they're filming all this stuff, and my dad, because my dad was in the newspaper business, used to get tickets, because the tickets, you didn't pay for them.
Right.
They were it was like Top of the Pops, you used to go for free.
Right.
And I had a great time going to see Crackerjack and the Basil Brush.
Really?
Can't believe you're dismissing it. One of my childhood memories.
Well, we all feel very good for you.
Thank you.
Anyway...
Shall I read you some tweets now?
Yeah, OK, please do. I want to tell you a bit more about the music scene, which you don't know about in a minute.
All right, well, we're going to talk to Mark Donaldson in a minute as well.
Yeah, you didn't know that a Danish rock band are top of the chart in this country, did you?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't care either.
They are.
Dennis says this, Porky's such a posh snob, man of the people, what a load of rubbish.
What?
Hashtag plank. James says...
Oh, that's nice.
Just imagining Porky owning a Bentley or an Aston Martin DB9 and showing it off at Goodison.
No, well, I wouldn't do that, would I?
And Paul says, I only drive a Ford Focus. Does that make me a bad person, Porky?
No.
Because I haven't got a Bentley.
No, it makes you a good person. Look, I didn't say that everybody without a Bentley is a bad person. I just said that, generally speaking, people with Bentleys have usually got something special about themselves.
Absolutely rubbish. Well, I was overtaken by a Bentley, actually, on Monday night as I was driving up from Sussex on the M21.
Yes.
Guy must have been doing 120.
Wow.
Well,
really?
Well, not wow, no, dangerous.
Oh, well, the thing is, a Bentley's such a well-built car that there's less chance of that crashing than most other cars.
Well, it depends on who's in control of it.
Well, it certainly does. But when people drive Bentleys, it means that they're wealthy, and they're probably wealthy because they're great entrepreneurs, or they've come up with a good idea.
They might have won the lottery.
Or they might have won the lottery, or they might have worked very hard, or they might simply, come from a wealthy family. I don't know. But,
You don't know.
You see, the problem
that's the basic problem with what your statement
You
suggests.
and I have different views on life. I say most people with Bentleys I would assume to be, pretty worthy people. Your view is most people with Bentleys are not worthy people.
That's not true at all.
You think they're worthless people.
That's not true at all.
Because you don't like people who aspire to greatness in life.
The difference between you and I is I don't make sweeping statements about people. I'm not impressed by wealth to the extent that I think everybody who's got wealth must be somehow great. Because they must not all be great. That's all.
I didn't say they're all great.
Yes,
I said
did.
it indicates to me usually they've got something about them. To drive around in a Bentley, which is a very unusual thing to see, right? Because, you're mocking young James Vardy.
Apparently not at Leicester City.
For having a Bentley. You're
I'm not mocking him at all.
Don't know why, but, you just
No, you see, once again, you're twisting the words that I used to describe Jamie Vardy as being premature in his celebration of, by having a Bentley. That's what I said. I didn't say that somehow he was wrong to have a Bentley. I said the timing of him showing off the Bentley was incorrect.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
Yeah,
and I think that's coming back to bite him on the backside now. When was the last time Jamie Vardy scored a goal?
You should know better than anybody that he wasn't showing off. If there's a photographer waiting outside the gates of Leicester's training ground on a Monday morning...
Yeah, there's going to be photographers waiting outside the gates.
Exactly.
So don't go in a Bentley.
Rubbish. What's he supposed to say? I think I'll pretend to be poorer than I am. The guy's the leading scorer in England at the time.
When's the last time he scored?
It's not now, because, of course, Lukaku is, after scoring tonight against... against Aston Villa.
I don't think he's scored a goal since the Bentley picture has been appearing.
I think he has scored one.
Maybe
actually.
one.
Yeah.
But he hasn't scored the last two games.
Yeah, well, he can't score in every game. If he scored in every game, he'd have exactly 38 goals in a season. Not many people score as many as that. In fact, nobody has since Gary Lineker for Everton in the 1986 season. Okay.
I'm told that Vardy's still the top scorer in the Premier League, by the way.
I don't think he is. I think Lukaku is. But anyway...
Yeah, well, you didn't think Spurs were ever top of the Premier League. You were wrong about that as well.
I said they did not spend a week at the top of the Premier League, and you came back with your fatuous so-called piece of information, your facts. Oh, they were top for 6 days.
No, they were top for 6 days in 2014-15. Do you want me to find out when they were top before that?
No.
Because they've been top for about 33 days, all told.
No, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, it's not necessary to keep
completely
proving you
unnecessary.
Wrong. Let's just talk sport. Mark Donaldson's coming up next. We'll get some sense out of him.
On DAB, digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Bosh, zoom, zoom, wallop.
And it's in!
Talk.
Andrew says the only thing slower than Porky's wit is his metabolism.
What? What are you on about? You mad?
Some people are suggesting you must be on something to be able to live the kind of life that you claim that you live.
Don't be ridiculous.
Absolutely shocking.
I just measure my energy outflow very efficiently.
Yeah. Damien says, 33 days for Spurs, MG. Porky's been on air 10 minutes and he's already made a clown of himself.
No, I've not made a clown of myself
Tottenham
at all.
being top of the league. And then Craig says, will old moneybags Porky buy a real leather handbag to match his Aston Martin?
A real leather what?
A real leather handbag instead of that faux handbag you carry around, that faux leather one.
No, I haven't got a faux leather handbag.
Yeah, you have. You carry your headphones around in it.
That's all that's in them. It's the cover for my headphones, okay?
No, it's a faux leather bag.
My headphones are so expensive, I decided to get a leather bag to put them in. It's as simple as that.
75 quid from Argos.
Rubbish.
That's what they are.
Absolute nonsense.
Anyway, later on in the show, I've got a quiz that will test how posh you are, so you can look forward to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I should
be able
pass
to
that with flying
determine.
colours.
Yeah, it was sent to me by a couple
by the
of
way, that's
Twitter
interesting what you
archetypes.
just said. Because, I said I looked at that programme, the Night Guy, what's it called?
The Night Guy, yeah.
What's it called?
The Midnight Man.
Midnight Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I looked at another one that was on at the same time on the other channel, and it was the very first episode ever of To the Manor Born.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Why?
Well, I don't know. He's just there, and I thought, that's quite interesting.
You would love her, wouldn't you, Hyacinth Bouquet?
Oh, no, it wasn't Hyacinth Bouquet. It was the woman from The Good Life.
Oh, yeah. Penelope Keith.
Penelope Keith. And
I thought her as well.
I thought she played such a frumpy and, rather antediluvian.
Did you fancy Felicity Kendall, then?
No, not at all.
She used to be a member of my golf club.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought...
Very nice woman.
I thought she was very twee, and a bit unsexy.
Not your type?
No, not my type at
all.
all.
Because she wasn't sort of strutting around in lingerie and stilettos.
Well, exactly. I mean... No, not exactly. But I mean, what I mean is, I don't go for women who go strutting around in welly boots,
Don't you?
Clumping through mud and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't turn me on at all.
You can't be that posh then.
Hey?
Now, we've been keeping Mark Donaldson waiting.
Yes,
the only man who's going to save this show and say something sensible. Mark, a very good morning to you.
How do I follow that?
Yes, quite
Well, you
right.
can tell us whether you like women walking around in Wellington boots or not. I mean, you didn't say whether they're wearing anything else.
I don't mind if they're walking around in Wellington boots if that's all they're wearing.
No, come on, Mark. This is a family show. Keep it clean.
And it's still Super Tuesday over there for you as well. So
it is still Super Tuesday. I tell you what, did I not read a few weeks ago they're making the British Empire's making a comeback as well?
Is it?
You're speaking about your old kind of To the Manor Born and The Good Life as well.
Yes.
Remember the Leisure Centre? Apparently that's making a comeback. And good old Mrs. Britas. I don't know how she put up with Gordon Britas.
No, I thought that was a very funny show, actually. So
I think Gordon Britas was very similar to one of you two. I'll let the listeners decide which one.
That's very good of you.
I was actually watching, I don't know if you've seen John Oliver's treatise from last night on Donald Trump. You know who I thought of when I was hearing all that?
Who's that?
My co-host here, Mr. Mike Porky Parry.
What are you on about?
Well, he was talking about how Donald Trump isn't actually what he talks. People say, "Oh yeah, we love Donald Trump because he says it like it is."
Yes,
which in fact is not true. Most of what he says is complete and utter rubbish, right? Most of it is not in any way researchable or back-upable, right?
Yeah. Well,
he also talks about himself in sort of the third person. Talks about the Trump name and the Trump brand, and in fact, it's not really very good at all. And most of the things that he's been associated with in the past have failed. Like his Trump airline, he had Trump steaks. He had Trump, magazines.
Trump vodka.
Trump vodka.
Did, yeah.
I mean, all of it disappeared.
Well, hang on, Richard Branson had all that sort of stuff.
Self-obsession, and he just tells barefaced lies rather than admitting when he's wrong. So I just thought, he's Porky. Yeah. You should be his running mate.
Yeah, Mark, I thought you came on to talk about football, mate, because considering...
I'm hoping you're going to take us back there, Mr. Porky.
Yeah, considering the, Everton, the mighty Everton won 3-1 tonight.
I don't want to talk about Everton anymore.
Well, we do, because, of course, they were a winning team tonight.
Leicester is the story.
Leicester is definitely the story, Mark. What do you make of this? Is it the start of the end for Leicester? Because my broadcasting colleague here, old Mike Graham, he can't wait for Leicester to fall on their face.
That's not true.
Mocking Jamie Vardy just because he's got a Bentley.
I thought Leicester played better in a 2-2 draw against West Brom than they did at the weekend against Norwich. I thought they were excellent because we're all looking for cracks, we're all looking for can they handle the pressure. I thought they were excellent. I mean, Okazaki should have scored, he hit the bar, Vardy should have scored. They did everything at the end. They threw the kitchen sink at West Brom. And it's funny, my brother-in-law's a West Brom fan, and I said, this is the type of game that you could probably take a point from because Norwich and teams are now slowly starting to figure Leicester out and how to frustrate them. And West Brom were able to do that, and West Brom, they got the point in the end. I just wonder if Leicester are going to be a better team between now and the end of the season with the fixtures they've got, which are decent, as the chasers rather than the chase.
Well, I mean, everyone's saying now, of course, Spurs have got the great opportunity to go top of the league. They're going to West Ham, which is not a very easy place to go. Two, it's a London derby. I mean, I think Tottenham will be doing well to get a point out of that game tonight, don't you?
Yeah, funnily enough, we've done the predictions on ESPN FC. I've actually gone for West Ham here. They've only lost 2 games at home. And I was speaking to your producer, who's a big Spurs fan. I thought, this is the type of game that Spurs, with all the chances of going top, they'll probably go and either lose or draw. He goes, no, not this time. It's different this time. I really hope it is. It's refreshing. Leicester and Spurs, the top 2, it's phenomenal. But what a few days for Spurs. West Ham away, Arsenal at home, bring it on.
Yeah. But, I mean, so far this season, mostly, apart from Leicester, who have continually managed to stay in top position for as long as I can remember, everybody else keeps kind of tripping up. So, like you say, I mean, Tottenham might trip up, Arsenal might beat them, suddenly, Manchester City might win a couple of games. I mean, it's far from over, isn't it?
Yeah, what we're finding as well is that even though Leicester slipped up last night in the 2-2 draw against West Brom, other teams are cutting each other's throats. I mean, Leicester go to Watford at the weekend. Watford aren't exactly playing that well. I don't think it'll be a bad thing to get away from the King Power Stadium, just to get on their travels as well, because they're a good counter-attacking side as well, Leicester. And you see what's happening now. Okazaki's getting an hour, and then Ojoa's coming on and playing another half hour. We wondered if they're going to miss Kante, because he's a really good player, N'Golo Kante, in the middle of the park. But Adam King came in, and he got a goal, because he's been at Leicester for ages, and it was nice to see him back on the score sheet as well. I think this is going to run and run, and Leicester are going to be there or thereabouts. So we were just waiting for the first kind of, oh, wait a minute, here we go, there's cracks. No. Leicester were excellent against West Brom, and they played better than they did when they beat Norwich.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. There's two factors Leicester have got, which other teams haven't. One is they're not playing in Europe, so they haven't got the vagaries of travel and all that kind of stuff. And secondly, Claudio Ranieri may never have won a title in Europe, but my God, he's that experienced in the ways of taking clubs to the end of a season and trying to maintain their positions. I know Pochettino's turned out to be an outstanding coach/manager and man motivator, call him what you want, but I think Ranieri's got more experience than him in a situation like this.
Yeah, and I think you can't underestimate the remaining fixtures, because Spurs have got three really tricky fixtures coming up between now and the end of the season. People say, Leicester have got to go to Chelsea at the end of the season. Who's to say that they might not have the league wrapped up by that? We're talking about, will Leicester win the league? There is a possibility. And look at the next games. Watford, Newcastle, Palace, Southampton and Sunderland are the next 5. They might not need anything from Chelsea on the last day as well. And with Ranieri in the dugout, he's a wily old fox. They'll have Kante back in a couple of weeks as well, and that's a good point as well. It's just so refreshing. It's not if you're an Arsenal or a Man United or a Liverpool fan, you're like, I wish that was us. But for the neutral, and I'd like to think the three of us are all neutrals as well, this is a phenomenal story. And the whole of the United States are like, Leicester, wow, what a fairy tale this is.
No, Porky's not a neutral at all. He's obsessed with Everton. All he talks about is Everton.
No, I'm not obsessed.
He's been telling me that they're now rich because some guys put a couple $100 million in, which isn't even going to be spent on buying any players.
No, I didn't say that
That's
at all.
That's exactly what you said.
No, but Tony, hey, look, excuse me, Tony Fernandez at QPR's rich, and he couldn't buy decent players, could he? Just because you've got loads of money, you've got to be able to spend it wisely as well. But as an Everton fan, Porky, you're not going to win the league. Who do you want to win the league? It's not Everton.
I can't have an opinion on that because no, I can't.
Why not?
Well, if my club aren't going to win it, I'm not going to pitch for one club or the other.
Why not?
You can have an opinion.
I can have an opinion, and in my opinion...
You're paid to have an opinion.
In my opinion...
Come on here and have no opinion.
Just shut your mouth for a minute, will you? In my opinion, it would be good for football if Spurs won the Premier League.
There's the Porky jinx.
No, because they are a club who could start it and maintain it, if you see what I mean. If Leicester win it, it'll be a one-off, like it was with Blackburn, like it was for 2 years with Nottingham Forest, and then it'll all disappear in a puff of smoke.
What's a one-off for 2 years?
Well, a one-off for 2 years means that they won the league for only 1 year, but it did prompt them to win the Champions League, or the European Cup as it was then, for 2 years.
I see.
Yes.
So that was a one-off as well?
They won it twice.
That
was a two-off. That was a two-off.
Two-off?
Yeah, two-off.
Mark, I'm sorry, we've got to go. He's taken up all of the time talking about Everton, as usual.
No, I haven't talked about Everton.